A lot of people assume that if you want to live near the ocean in Maine, you need $1 million. And honestly, if you're talking true waterfront or big ocean views, you'll be lucky if pricing starts at 1 million. But here's the part people miss. You do not need waterfront property to enjoy the coastal Maine lifestyle. And in many cases, homes near the water, not on the water, are priced very similarly to homes in inland communities all over New England. Welcome back to the HRG TV studio. So today, I want to talk about something I think a lot of buyers overlook: the difference between owning the water and simply living near it, because those are two very different things. Now, when people picture coastal Maine, they picture the postcard homes, oceanfront cottages, private docks, big views. And yes, those properties exist. But what many buyers don't realize is that coastal communities like Harpswell still have homes where you can live just minutes from the ocean without paying true waterfront prices. And honestly, for many people, that's the smarter move. Let's look at some numbers. Year-to-date median sale prices: Brunswick is around $653,000. Freeport is even higher, around $837,000. The Boothbay area is around $556,000. Now here's where things get interesting. In Harpswell, one of the most desired coastal communities in Maine, we're still seeing interior homes, 3 bedrooms, selling from the upper 400s into the middle 700s, depending on size, age, condition, and location. That surprises people because they assume Harpswell must automatically cost dramatically more simply because it's on the coast. But that's not always true. And this is where buyers need to think carefully about what they actually want. Do you want to own the water, or do you want access to the lifestyle? Because there's a big difference. A lot of people chasing waterfront end up sacrificing things they later realize mattered more: smaller lots, less privacy, older homes, no garage, limited parking, weather exposure, maintenance, and sometimes they stretch themselves financially just to say they own waterfront. Meanwhile, another buyer buys a really nice home 5 minutes away and spends their evenings kayaking, boating, walking the beachhead, going out to dinner, or sitting by the water anyway. Same lifestyle, completely different price tag. And honestly, this is one of the things that makes Maine different from many other coastal states. A lot of our coastline still feels accessible. There are public landings, marinas, kayak and boat launches, protected trails and lands, working waterfronts, town docks. You don't necessarily need private waterfront ownership to feel connected to the coast here. Owning waterfront sounds amazing, and sometimes it absolutely is. But for many buyers, what they're really after is simpler than that. They want to hear the gulls, smell the salt air, walk to the cove or beach, launch the kayak, sit on the deck after dinner, watch the weather move in. That experience doesn't always require ocean frontage. In fact, sometimes the buyers who are happiest long term are the ones who didn't overbuy, the ones who left room in the budget for enjoying life, for travel, for boating, for renovations, for retirement, instead of putting every dollar into the lot itself. And I'll be honest, I've seen buyers come to Maine convinced they need waterfront. Then, after spending time here, they realize what they actually wanted was proximity to the coast and access to the lifestyle. Now, obviously, every buyer is different. For some people, true waterfront is absolutely worth it, especially if boating, docking, privacy, or investment potential are priorities. But I think it's important buyers understand there are options, especially in communities like ours. You may not be as priced out of coastal Maine as you think, and that's a story I don't think gets talked about enough. So if you've been dreaming about coastal Maine but assumed it was financially out of reach, it may be worth taking another look. Because sometimes the smartest coastal purchase isn't the house sitting on the water. It's the one that lets you actually enjoy living here. If you found this helpful, feel free to share the video. I talk a lot about coastal Maine real estate, boating lifestyle, waterfront property, and the realities, both good and bad, of living here. And if you're considering a move to Maine, especially the Midcoast or Harpswell area, feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.